Hey there, welcome back. In this video, Sandy and I are in Oklahoma at the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge. Now we visit this location every year for the migrating warblers and the other different birds that we can't get in the Northwest. So we're going to look around the park and we're going to see what kind of birds that we can get. And then after this, we'll take you down to the spillway into the Salt Fork, Arkansas River and show you some shorebirds and some different things down there. There's some snakes and different things we'll show you down there. So until then, we'll walk around this park and we'll see what we can get. So before we begin looking for birds, here's a little backstory. Why do Sandy and I come all the way to Oklahoma to photograph birds when there's plenty of birds and beautiful scenery where we live in Idaho? Well, we started traveling to the Midwest back in 2015 to chase storms. During the downtime between storms, we explored the parks and wildlife refuge for birds until the next storm came in. During that time, we discovered the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge here in north central Oklahoma. We enjoyed this park so much that we kept coming back year after year. This refuge has many of the bird species we're interested in all in one place. And it has a trail system that covers all the essential areas of the park where the birds can be found. It's also a peaceful place to visit where we can enjoy nature and explore along the trails. So stick around because in this video I'll be sharing some helpful techniques for better backgrounds in your photos. Now let's get back to the trail and see what birds we can find. Okay, right here at the park entrance, Eagle Roost Nature Trail. That's where we're going to be going for all of our birds. But right here, we have this old dead tree, and there's a couple of red-headed woodpeckers up there, and they fly through kind of like this foliage here, and then they come over to these trees. They'll go back and forth to kind of have a routine, and they yap at each other, and then basically we'll wait for them to get out onto one of the side of these trees here. And also you can see way off in the background there's some green trees, and what we'll do is position ourselves to where we have green bokeh behind the big tree the red-headed woodpecker lands on, so that it gives it a nice background. It's way off in the distance, so the pictures turn out absolutely beautiful. Now I've already got that photo, that red-headed woodpecker, and I'll show it to you now. Okay guys, we have a list of birds that we're looking for while we're here. The ones that are going to be the most difficult is the pileated woodpecker, black-crowned night heron, that one might be difficult, and the painted bunting blue jays. All of these might be difficult, who knows. We'll see how many of these we can get. All right guys, we're looking for an indigo bunting down here. We can hear them. So what we're looking for when we arrive at the refuge is what Sandy and I like to call a bird frenzy. A bird frenzy is when you can hear lots of bird activity in one area. Once we locate the birds, they're usually feeding and traveling as a group. We'll look for perching options in the area and watch what the birds are doing. If we see a pattern, we'll set up on one of those perches and position ourselves for the best photo. Okay guys, so I almost forgot to point out, the stick right here has green trees and different things behind it over here, and you want to kind of position yourself to where you get the distant background, get some good colorful bokeh always out in the open. You get that shot. So anyways, you get that good green bokeh back there, and we got lucky here because he's landed on the perfect stick. Oh, turn your head the other way, buddy. Gotta wait till he puts his head there. There you go. Okay. Anyways, that gives you a good depth of field. He didn't land on the perch that we're looking at here, but he's on one right behind it. So we'll see what he does. Here's some photos of the indigo bunting we just saw landing on that perch. This bird was calling out to attract a mate, and we were able to get a few photos when it moved out into the open. On one of our past trips to the refuge, we saw this indigo bunting singing in the rain. Anyways, this is a nice walk through here. Got some good trails, a little bit of shade. We weren't dressed appropriate for mosquitoes though. We're wearing shorts. We have wilts all over our legs. So it's kind of, need to prepare a little better. Did have bug spray. So I apologize for the exposure differences in some of the video. This was a combination of like 4 days worth of getting these birds. It takes a while to find them and get them, and most of the activity, like I said, is in the morning. So it takes a while to get them, get the checklist done. The most difficult ones for us have been the pileated woodpecker, and Sandy saw a green heron. It's kind of difficult. What you got? Okay, right now we're on a red cardinal. We don't get these in the Northwest, so we're pretty excited. Some people have cardinals all over their yard, but pretty excited for us. It's right over there to the left. All right, guys, we just ran into a lifer, a blackpoll warbler. Never seen a blackpoll warbler before. We had our cameras out and stuff like that, so didn't want to take the time to hit the GoPro, make sure to get the shot. So we'll show you those shots of that pretty cool bird right now. Okay guys, I'm standing right here in an area where you see all these fallen tree branches and some old dead limbs hanging over without leaves on them. So that gives a perfect opportunity for a perch. And basically there's been a prothonotary, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyways, a prothonotary warbler has been going back and forth through here, and goes over by the water over here, and he's going in that tree, eating bugs, flying back over every once in a while, landing right here. And there was also a Baltimore Oriole here yesterday. Let me show you some pictures of those. Okay guys, we just caught a glimpse of the pileated woodpecker, but as in all the other years that we've been out here, we just caught a glimpse of him. I got a really not good shot. I'm going to go ahead and show you that shot just so you know it's not all great shots that we get out here. It takes like hours and hours, and in this case days and days, just to get what we get. You've got to be patient. I'll show you that pileated woodpecker shot, and this is what most of the shots look like. They're not in great focus, they're from a long distance and stuff like that. So we'll show you that shot now. Looks like it's in the bush over here. So these birds in this area are highly active in the morning, and in order to get any chance of photos of these guys, you have to be out early when they're active. You might be able to hear some of that in the background. The birds chirping. So we were able to locate and photograph several more birds on our target list as we walked the trails of the refuge. One bird we were super excited to see was the painted bunting. Sandy remembered where we saw them last year, and when we returned to that location, there were two males singing and chasing each other back and forth through the trees. They would land in the same tree occasionally, and here are some of the photos we were able to get of those beautiful little birds. You see something?
Cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo bird? Did you get his picture?
Yeah.
Cool. Got that one last year on the telephone wires. They're kind of fidgety, flying around. So next we headed to the Great Salt Plains Reservoir Spillway. This spillway dumps into the Salt Fork, Arkansas River, and a large number of bird species visit this area to feed on the abundance of fish at the spillway. We like to come to this location especially to see the snowy egrets. Okay guys, here we are at the outlet of the Arkansas Fork River. As you can see the waterfall behind me here. We're out here to get snowy egrets, great white egrets, terns, pelicans, great blue herons, cormorants. There's all kinds of things out here, and there's some water snakes. I'll show you some photos of those or some video. And so let's go see what we can get. All right, this is the Salt Fork, Arkansas River. I think I'm saying that right. There's turtles swimming in the water, cormorants. Then out this way, you have the terns diving for fish. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but the terns are flying around. There's a lot of small fish that go down through this zone. Down here is where the snowy egret usually is, and the white egret from yesterday. And I've got video of that you'll see. There's some water snakes here. I'll try to get some video of this snake real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to get close to him. He's right down here. There he goes, slithering in the water. So you'll be sitting here right along this edge doing photos or whatever. There he goes. I don't know if you can see him in the GoPro. And these water snakes will come swimming right up to you, and it kind of freaks you out. Kind of creepy. Let's see if we can find any more of those snakes. Sandy's out there on the shoreline trying to get the sandpiper and the terns when they dive. We've been trying to get the terns diving for fish. That's similar to an osprey. It's kind of interesting. Not seeing any of the water snakes down here today. They're breeding and nesting underneath this concrete ledge here. Oh, there's one right there. Hold on a second, I'll try to get a stick of some sort and lower it down and see if I can get a closer shot of the snakes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the shot of the snakes here. We'll give it a try. They're right down in this hole. These water snakes thrive at the spillway because of the amount of fish available and the shelter under the concrete for breeding. Last year, there were snakes everywhere, and as I sat along the shoreline photographing the sandpipers, these snakes would swim directly towards me, which was kind of eerie. They even have snakes in the bushes. I'm not sure what this one is, but I think it's a rat snake. Anyways, let's get back to watching the birds. Here's some video of the snowy egret catching fish next to the shoreline. This is the location I pointed out earlier, where the concrete meets at the bottom of the spillway, causing a bottleneck where the small fish swim through. The snowy egret makes its way down to the shoreline, where it will catch the small fish as they swim upstream. These egrets have razor-sharp focus and concentration. They eagerly wait for the small fish to swim by next to the edge of the rocks. Then, in a split second, they snatch the small fish out of the water, and down the hatch it goes. Then we have this great egret that was just hanging out on the rocks and preening. Not much action here. Here are a couple pelicans out in the middle of the river preening. There were quite a few pelicans and cormorants here this year. I think we must have seen close to 50 pelicans and probably 80 cormorants. So Sandy and I spent a lot of time photographing the Forster's terns. It kind of becomes addicting trying to get the perfect shot of the terns diving and coming out of the water with a fish in its beak. So if you're looking for a challenge, I would encourage you to photograph the Forster's terns. Overall, we were able to get some pretty cool flight shots of these birds, and here they are. So this trip to the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge was a great one. We were able to see well over 50 bird species in 4 days and get photographs of most of the favorites on our list. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. And if you know someone who might like this video, please share the link with them. Here's a few more of the photos we took during this trip. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.